Hey there, Gemini. Welcome to your reading for the week of April 28th. You have this entanglement card. It says, if you realize that you're in an entanglement, it may be time to move on and take a break. You have the scales of balance. It says, find balance within yourself and things will balance out around you. Yeah, I do feel balance is really important for Gemini right now. Making sure that you're taking care of yourself, healing, resting, relaxing, recovering. All that stuff will be important, and also kind of watching your emotions and making sure that you're not getting out of balance with your emotions is probably going to be very important for you moving forward. There's just some silly little things going on. I don't know. There's something about that Neptune and Aries for Gemini that I think could be knocking you off balance sometimes, but not all the time. It's you have the good days and you have the bad days. And I think what's going to be important for you, Gemini, not even just right now, but I would say for the next couple of months, is to just double down on the good days. When you feel good, do more, right? Get stuff done. And so that it doesn't matter if you have a bad day, right? And I kind of feel like that's what this reading is saying. Having said that, this reading is amazing. You have very good cards. You have this Miracles Are Endless card. You have this Believe in the Impossible card. So, it looks really good to me. You start with the Ace of Cups, which is your emotions overflowing, being very happy. There definitely could be a love offer coming in for you. You have the Knight of Cups, you have the Emperor, the Hierophant, really good love cards here. So if you're hoping for love, there definitely could be a strong connection coming in for you. With the Star card showing up in the reading as well, the Ace of Cups is about creating more flow in your life. So the Ace of Cups says there are probably things that you do that cause your emotions to overflow. What are those things? I don't know. For you, you're going to have to figure it out yourself. It could be hobbies, taking care of yourself, treating yourself to something nice, whatever. I would do more things that get you into that flow energy, right? You have the Ten of Swords. Again, this is where I was getting good days, bad days for whatever reason. That's not really what the Ten of Swords represents, but I read intuitively, and that's what I'm getting on the card. So I don't know, take it up with God, right, if you don't like it. But what I would say here is that I feel there are going to be some really good days and some bad days. And I feel like the bad days are more a mental thing, Gemini. It's I feel those bad days are more I can't do this, I can't do that. I can't overcome this challenge. It's the I can't type of energy that I get off the Ten of Swords. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it either. Number one, I feel like you can. So I will sugarcoat that part because you absolutely can do whatever you're saying you can't do. The Star proves that. You have this card that says you are good enough on it, which proves it. The Ace of Swords, the Fool. They all say you're perfectly capable, but sometimes it's hard to change what's going on up here. So I think that this reading is really saying it's going to be important to double down on those good days and really take advantage of the energy and try to correct the bad days as well. But I don't think life is about being perfect, And sometimes I think we just need to have a pity party. And I have a pity party rule in my life where it's if I need to have a pity party, I allow myself to have a pity party for 24 hours. And I say, I can be miserable today, but after this, I need to change, right? And so maybe that's what you need this week. You have the Hierophant. The Hierophant can represent blessings coming in for you. He is blessing these two people in front of him on this card. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune and the Star, and we have this card that says the Miracles Are Endless. So, it looks to me like you could be receiving some blessings that are miracles in your life. And so really, I think things are looking good. I just think that there might be some days where it's mentally you're not feeling it. So that's kind of what needs to be balanced out in this reading. And really, I have nothing else to say. I have nothing else for you, Gemini, on that Hierophant. Although it could be love. With the Emperor, you definitely could be attracting a divine counterpart or a person. With the Ace of Cups, you have the Two of Pentacles. Both things, we've been talking about. Balance. The Two of Pentacles is work hard, play hard. The other thing is you could get ahead of this energy, right? It's finding something that makes you feel joyful or makes you feel hopeful or makes you feel good, figuring that out now. I'm going to be publishing this video on the 24th, so 4 days early. And if you're watching it before this week, it's maybe you could spend this weekend finding something enjoyable, that you, an activity, a hobby, a habit, something that makes you feel good about yourself. It's maybe you should figure that out now so that if there are some weird days coming up, you have something to pull you out of it, right? And that's what I would do with the Two of Pentacles. With the Ten of Swords, you have the Hangman. Well, I mean, really, it's about perspective, right? The thing about the Hangman is that he's looking at something from a different perspective. It's like, sure, he could say that he's stuck in the squeeze here with the 10 swords, or he's dead. But really, it's a matter of perspective. So the Hangman is hanging upside down from the Tree of Knowledge and Wisdom, and he's doing this to gain enlightenment. His head is glowing. And really, it's about kind of like looking at your situation and saying, like, it could be worse, or, what do I need to learn from this, or what do I need to see in this situation? So I think perspective could also help you kind of pull out of those bad days. With the Hierophant, you have the Emperor. So whenever this happens, it's basically just saying that, to me as a reader, it's just saying that the message is going this direction, more or less, if that makes sense. So I do feel that you could be attracting an Emperor-type person, or you could be also taking the lead. I'm pretty sure your May reading that I did for you, Gemini, was all about you taking the lead or stepping up in a leadership position. So if you are doing anything to take a leadership position, this could be very good for you as well. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this Believe in the Impossible card, and also this You Are Good Enough card. Maybe you need to say that to yourself more, and I feel like you need to believe that you can accomplish the impossible. Again, you have the Star coming up, and we'll talk about it, but the Star is definitely a card of believing in the impossible, and again, we'll talk about it, but I feel that believing in yourself is more important. You have the Ace of Swords, the Emperor, and the Eight of Swords. The Ace of Swords says if you can set your mind to it, you can achieve it. The Ace of Swords is a laser-like focus. The Star is also the need for laser-like focus. We'll talk about that in a second again, but I feel for a lot of you, the Ace of Swords says if you make something that you want to accomplish your focus, you will accomplish it. Doesn't matter how impossible it may seem. Again, if you make it your focus, you'll make it happen, and that's definitely what I would do with this Ace of Swords energy. The Ace of Swords is also perfectly in balance. It has a perfectly balanced edge on both sides, and it has these 6 golden yods here on the card, and they're mirroring each other, and it represents balance. So I think balancing things out this week, you have the scales of balance, is going to be very important for you at this time. You have the Emperor. The Emperor could be about you taking the lead or taking control on something that you want to accomplish. The Emperor is sometimes about waiting for the perfect moment. I'm not a big fan. I'm very impatient myself, Gemini, so I get it, but this isn't saying like you're sitting around twiddling your thumbs. He has his armor on underneath his cloak, and it says he's ready to go at a moment's notice. So when an opportunity presents itself, he takes it and he doesn't wait. And I feel like kind of looking at opportunities that are coming your way this week is going to be very important. Like, I would pay attention to anything that seems like an opportunity, anything that looks like an opportunity, because it probably is. So I would be looking closer at the opportunities that come your way. They could be very important for you with the Emperor energy. The Emperor, believe it or not, is also a symbol of rebirth. He has this Ankh right here, and the Ankh in the Ankh symbol can represent rebirth. And I normally never say that, but, it is popping into my head that some of you could be undergoing like a little bit of a rebirth at this time. So, something to pay attention to. You have the Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords, you have this card that says believe in the impossible. You have the other card that says you are good enough. Eight of Swords is only seeing one way of doing things. Hangman, right? Hangman says if you are stuck in any area of your life, and if you think there's only one way to accomplish something, that you're wrong, Gemini. There are many ways to accomplish everything that you're doing. You just have to look at it from a new perspective, right? She just has to realize there are other ways that she can solve her problem, and that's what I would do with this Eight of Swords energy. With the Ace of Swords, you have the Ace of Wands. Yeah, definitely could be a new opportunity with that Emperor as well that you're taking advantage of. The Ace of Wands is out with the old and with the new. This castle in the background is meant to look like it's crumbling. And so there could be like a big new opportunity that you are receiving at this time. And I really have, again, nothing to say about it because I would just take the opportunity. Ace of Wands, we do have to let go of the past, and Ace of Swords, we have to cut something out from the past usually, or we just have to cut. It doesn't even have to be from the past. It could just be something that we're removing. And so don't be afraid of letting go of things that no longer serve you. You cannot make this up, Gemini. With the Emperor, you have the Judgment card. I literally said Rebirth on that card. So, boom. There you go. It's almost like I'm psychic or something here, Gemini. I definitely got that vibe on that Emperor energy, so that's pretty crazy. But you definitely could be kind of being like the opportunity could be a rebirth or for you to create the change. You know, these people in these coffins are being called up by their higher self angel here, and the coffin represents their old life. Outside the coffin is their new life. And they just have to step into, they just have to let the past go, basically. And, the same thing is true with the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Wands. The castle is crumbling in the back of the Ace of Wands. It's out with the old, in with the new, letting go of the past. Ace of Swords, again, sometimes we have to make a sacrifice. You have the Hangman. The Hangman is a card of sacrifice. He is sacrificing the use of his arms and his legs. But it's coming up in this row here. It's almost like saying you have already made the sacrifice, and now it's time to get your reward here, Gemini. So I think you've made a lot of sacrifices, and now it's time to claim your blessings or whatever that is. With the Eight of Swords, you have the Six of Wands. Yeah, like a big victory. You have Ace of Swords, Six of Wands. The only card we're missing really is the Chariot. So if we get the Chariot, this will definitely be a reading about a big victory. But Six of Wands can be a victory. You can also just say that you're overcoming something. The Ace of Swords also is kind of like overcoming an obstacle. The Six of Wands, the story of the card is that this guy has been to war, and now he's coming back from war, and he's being celebrated. So he has overcome an obstacle. You could be overcoming being stuck this week, which is great. I definitely feel like it's needed. It's kind of a weird reading because it's very good. There's like very good cards here, but I can't help but, it's like my intuition is guiding me towards that Ten of Swords in your reading, if that makes sense. And so while the reading is good, I just think tarot is energy that exists. You can work with it or not. So it's like you could stay in Ten of Swords mode and just do nothing, or you can, embrace the victory, embrace the new opportunity. And that's really what I feel the reading is encouraging. So I don't know what I'm trying to say, Gemini. Like, I feel like it's a good reading, but I also feel that, this isn't just going to happen, right? So take action. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this Transformation is Beautiful card, and you also have this Miracles are Endless card. Definitely could be blessings and miracles coming in after a transformation. I mean, even the Judgment card is kind of a transformation. A rebirth is a transformation. So, that is what could be bringing these blessings or miracles into your life with that cow spirit. You have the Star, the Fool, and the Wheel of Fortune. The Star can also represent blessings, but the Star really says that the impossible is possible. She is pouring this water right here. This water comes from the pool of universal consciousness, and it's pouring out into the world. And so what this water represents is that what's possible for one person is possible for everyone. And so I feel for a lot of you, you need to realize that you are much more capable than you realize. And like, I would take advantage of that. I would make sure that you are moving, you are realizing that if you have an idea that it is possible, and you have this card that says you need to believe in the impossible. So a lot of you could be trying to accomplish something like much bigger than yourself this week. And I feel like the Star is saying, do it. Make it happen. Get started, Gemini, because I feel like you will be extremely happy that you did with the Star card. It seems to me like there are definitely like star blessings coming in off of this card. You have the Fool. The Fool is about taking a leap of faith towards something new. It's kind of like a little bit boring of a message because I just feel like everybody is starting something new right now. We just got off of like 7 months or whatever it is of retrogrades, and there you go. We just got off of these retrogrades, and that's what I would say here. It's like, one of those things where those retrogrades kind of cause confusion and distraction, kind of like my phone is right now. I don't know. Someone's texting me. My phone is on silent, by the way, Gemini. I don't know why this happens, but sometimes I put my phone on silent and the texts still come through. But this card is saying now it's time to start because the retrograde distractions are over, and I feel it's time to take a leap of faith. This could also be a person who's taking a leap of faith towards you, going up to the Knight of Cups. So, this basically could be you accepting an offer, or it could be like someone who's taking a risk here. It's kind of funny because there's this like little dog on the card. Like this person could be like a little puppy or something. They could have that energy about them, but I don't know, it looks good. You have the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is a change in directions. Or a change in direction. So I feel for a lot of you that there could be like a change in direction coming in for you, or there could just be a change in general. The wheel spins in whatever direction it wants, but we want to take control of the wheel, especially with the Emperor. We don't want it just spinning all over the place. So I always say to take control of the wheel, we have to take care of the challenges that pop up in our lives right away and not wait to take care of them. And we also have to double down on the good stuff. We have to repeat our successes, and not enough people do this. So I would be repeating your successes at this time. With the Star, you have the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups is a card of fulfillment or wish fulfillment. So I feel for a lot of you that the Nine of Cups is kind of saying that, especially with the Star, I always say that I don't think the Nine of Cups is a card of just getting a wish, because he has to be in alignment to get what he's wishing for with the Nine of Cups. But when it comes up with the Star, I definitely feel the Nine of Cups says you are about to receive something you're wishing for. So this definitely looks like a really good week, Gemini. With the Fool, you have the Three of Pentacles. This doesn't have to be love either. That Knight of Cups could be a knight in shining armor, as in it could be a person that like has a new perspective on something that you're doing with the Hangman. And, this could almost be like a guide or a mentor. I think we do have living guides. Like, I think we have people that are here in the 3D that are meant to be like a guide to us, if that makes sense. And that's almost like the feeling I get here, Gemini. Three of Pentacles, like this is you working on something, and like the Knight of Cups could be a knight in shining armor in the sense that it's like a person who comes in and helps you with like an idea or your business, or maybe they do help you with something in your love life or some other area of life. So again, this could just be a helpful, I kind of get that vibe here where it's like a helpful person or a person who has really good advice. And, Three of Pentacles is about putting your successes on display. So it could be a person who really helps you become more successful. As always, Gemini, like for the past 3 weeks, you've been getting the Three of Pentacles. And I've been saying, you need to be number one, Gemini. You need to be the leader. Could it be any more obvious? I don't think so. You get the Emperor in like every single reading I do for you all of a sudden. I think you had a card that said take the lead in like one of your recent readings. So, clearly it's a time where Gemini needs to be getting all the attention, right? And so I would make sure that you're taking the lead on anything that you're doing. With the Wheel of Fortune, you have the Ace of Swords. Again, definitely a victory. The other thing about the Ace of Swords with the Wheel of Fortune is that this is about moving towards your truth. I think that a lot of people don't know what their truth is. It reminds me, like years ago, there was like a Netflix special with Tony Robbins, and I'm not like the biggest Tony Robbins fan, but one thing that I loved about that special with him is that like he'd go up to every single person in the audience and he would be like, what do you want your legacy to be, or like what do you want to do? And he would put the microphone in front of them, and every single one was, I want to create world peace. I want to stop hunger. I want to do this. I want to do that. Those are all great things. There's nothing wrong with that being your goal. But what I liked about it is he was like, no, that is not what you actually want. You want something else, and there's nothing wrong with that. You can say, I want to be a billionaire, and also say, I want world peace at the same time. Those two things can be true, and you can use all your money to make that happen, right? So it's like, what do you really want? What is your actual truth in your life? And I'm not saying that world peace wouldn't make you happy, Gemini, but it's like you have to get there, right? There has to be a step to make that happen. And that's kind of what I took away from that special. There you go. Is that there's like a step in between. You can't just say that you want to, kind of be an inspiration to people, but also not take care of yourself. And that is the truth, right? So the Ace of Swords says there's like a little bit of truth in between what you want and what you are saying you want. And so you have to get down to what you really want. And that's like a critically important in this reading. I always tell the cookie story, right? There's a famous sales trainer, David Sandler, and he tells a cookie story. I'll tell you the short version, but basically, when we're children, we ask our mom for a cookie before dinner, and she says, no, you have to eat first. So then the next time, instead of asking for a cookie, we say, Mom, I'm hungry. And mom says, dinner will be ready soon, right? So basically, we all learn to not ask for what we want. This trains our brain to go a step above what we actually want, or to ask in a roundabout way, right? So we are all trained to think like, oh, I want to do this thing, but really we don't. Like, oh, I want a career. But does anyone really want a career? Some people do, but for the most part, probably not. It's like no one wants to sit in 4 hours of traffic going both ways, right? To go to a job, to retire at 65, to have a heart attack and die at 65 and not enjoy their retirement because they're dead, right? Nobody really wants that. So again, what do you really want? Really. Not kind of, but really, with that Ace of Swords. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this Yang energy card and this Peace card. The Yang energy card is like the Ace of Wands. It is the card of like initiation and getting started on something. So I feel for a lot of you, this is about like getting started on something that you're going to be working on or creating. You have the Peace card, so you could be at peace. Again, very good reading, Gemini, so definitely could be feeling at peace this week. You have the Knight of Cups, the King of Pentacles, and the Knight of Wands. I feel like this is one person, Gemini. Like, if you're attracting love, I feel this person is like the Knight of Cups, the King of Pentacles, and the Knight of Wands all together. They could be like a little bit dreamy, a knight in shining armor with the Knight of Cups. But the good news is you have that King of Pentacles, which is like very stable, secure. I like King of Pentacles for love. Doesn't matter what gender you're interested in here. Because the King of Pentacles people are very stable. They like want something to work. And the Knight of Wands, they could be a little bit of a rebel, or they could like to go on adventures. So I kind of feel like you're attracting a good mix of a person here. You have the King of Pentacles outside of love. I love the King of Pentacles. I definitely feel Gemini will absolutely be focusing on finances for the next few years. I mean, you're in June, you're going to have Jupiter entering into your second house. Even if you're not a second house Gemini, I mean, even if you're not a first house Gemini, still doesn't matter. It'll affect your finances. Obviously I'm broadcasting, so I'm speaking to 1 billion people right now, and so bear with me. But for all of you, and there are other things going on that will make you focus on your finances. It's actually a really good time for you, Gemini. So I would be, working on stabilizing your finances, developing good money habits, focusing on the right things, all that. You have the Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands is about being spontaneous. He's very spontaneous, and he's like moving in a new direction. So I feel a lot of you could be kind of going on adventures at this time or moving in new directions. And I do feel that would be very good for you. I also feel that it's like I get this like new start thing. The whole reading basically says that. And the Knight of Wands, he kind of says you don't have to know everything. So if you get an opportunity where you don't know all the details, that's okay. You can learn as you go. And the Knight of Wands is definitely saying that. Here you go. With the Knight of Cups, you have the Page of Cups. So, this could be an admirer or a person that you're already interested in. So definitely could be love coming in for you here. I feel like the two of you will see each other as like a star. It's like I feel this could be a really good connection, Gemini. I feel like you've been waiting a long time for this, really. And I'm not trying to be dramatic or anything, but I really feel you could be attracting a person where it's like you both see each other as very special. With the King of Pentacles, you have the King of Cups. Yeah, it's like this person could be very multifaceted as well. So if you're you could be attracting a person who's very interesting, which is probably a good thing for a Gemini. As a Gemini moon, I can tell you, it's like being with a more interesting person who has like a lot going on is more interesting. Us Gemini ruled people are accused of getting distracted in relationships or getting bored of relationships, but really, it's like when we find an interesting person, I think it's much better. So this could be just like a more interesting type of person who like does a lot of things or has a lot of stories, or I don't know, whatever tickles your boat here, Gemini. The King of Cups would also be about stabilizing your emotions. We talked about that at the beginning of the reading. Definitely a good week to stabilize your emotional state. With the Knight of Wands, you have the Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups is fortune after difficulty, happy home, happy family. Very good for love, but also just it makes the reading better in general because it represents fortune after difficulty. So there could be a lot of happiness coming in for you as well. Damn. Gemini, definitely the best reading I've done this week. Probably the best reading I will do this week. You have the Seahorse card. It says family matters. Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups is all about family and spending time with family and being with family. So, great time for family. You have this Dolphin card. It says financial gain, usually coming from something you did in the past. You had this card with me recently because I'm pretty sure I said this to you that you could be getting rewards from the past. It might have been your May reading, I don't know, but I definitely feel if you've been putting the work in, you could be seeing the results. Based off of everything we have here as well. It's like this could be more like the skills, it's like you might not be getting paid from like a past project or something, but the things that you learned during that time could be adding up and producing a result on like something new that you're working on. You have this July card and this arrow. It says you're on the right path regarding some aspect of your life. You probably will feel more on track by the time we get to the month of July, just in general. So that doesn't really surprise me. I think something people forget about having Jupiter in your first is that it expands everything, including the challenges. So it's like Jupiter in your first is very positive, and Jupiter is very positive just in general, but it can expand things it can expand the wrong things as well. And so you might just be feeling like a sense of relief in July. You have this Wind Chimes card. It says peace and harmony. You have this other card that says peace. I would put yourself in positions of peace, more peace, right? You have this Wishbone card. It says a wish granted. We said that literally with the Nine of Cups and the Star. So definitely could be some sort of wish or wish granted for you here, Gemini. But this looks very good. I love this. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your week.